Marlena's dream. The space of severing and reflection. Marlena, welcome to the space of your dream. Feel how the air becomes softer, how the warmth of the beige walls seeps into your body and arranges your thoughts into a calmer rhythm. The breath moves gently through your chest, as if guiding you into a bright, slightly humid space where every image is allowed to speak in its full voice. An inhale draws in clarity. An exhale releases the tension that clings to the body like dust. This entry requires no effort. It is enough to be, enough to listen. Marlena, you dreamed. I am in a spa with my friend. The surroundings are beige-white, lined with pleasant warm beige tiles, which makes me feel relaxed. On the right side, down a set of stairs, there is a stone whirlpool bath. I wait for it to fill with crystal clear water. On the left side lies an abandoned, somewhat old black suitcase belonging to another client. Inside, it is a white bikini, a towel, a toiletry bag. I grab the suitcase, climb the stairs, and place it on a small table in the relaxation area, as if in our hotel room connected to the spa. I change into the white bikini from the suitcase. The bikini bottoms are very full coverage, reaching high above my navel. I look at myself in the mirror. The bottoms are clearly too big. I look like I'm wearing a diaper. I don't like what I see. I'm filled with anger. I'm distorted. Bad figure, bad appearance. Everything is wrong. My friend calls me to the room next door to show me that something has damaged all the charging cables. We can't charge our phones or tablets. We've been cut off. The beige SPA opens like a first chamber in which the body becomes a mirror of the psyche. The bright tiles, the soft light, the warmth reflected from the walls create a space where nothing attacks, yet everything stirs. This place is a threshold where you meet what is most intimate, the way you see yourself. The first entry is an invitation to pause and look at yourself with more gentleness before the deeper layers of the dream unfold. Here arises the first sense that body and soul have something to say to each other, something long held, something in need of lightness and breath. In this space of reflection, a deeper psychic movement appears, revealing the conflict between the inner image and the external form. The white bikini, too large, hanging on a body that longs to feel aligned, becomes a symbol of the inadequacy of imposed roles and patterns. The mirror's reflection is not just a look at skin, but at an entire hidden territory of discord. This is the moment when the psyche exposes the tension between who you are and what you try to put on yourself. The anger that rises is no accident. It is a signal of the activation of a deep dialogue between the self and the shadow, between the need for acceptance and the pressure of form. Mirrors in dreams always tell the truth, even when that truth hurts. Then emotions enter, fierce, unrestrained, pulsing just beneath the skin. The anger, the sense of distortion, the frustration toward your reflection are not merely reactions, but the very language spoken by the body. Here, the emotions pour out like hot water from a whirlpool, unstoppable because they are necessary for something to finally release. This is the moment when the body refuses to pretend, refuses to wear someone else's form, refuses silence. In this layer, the bikini bottoms that look like a diaper express the tension between childlike vulnerability and the adult need for power. Anger is not destruction. It is an attempt to straighten the spine of emotion. Physicality then steps forward. The stairs downward, carrying the suitcase, the weight of the body, the temperature of the tiles. Everything tangible speaks with its full presence. This scene speaks of your real exhaustion, of the tension carried in your back and abdomen, of the effort required to be the one who manages even when she feels the load. The body reacts authentically. You can feel the asymmetry of movement, the balance between stability and overload. The water you await symbolizes what your body lacks: soothing, immersion, equilibrium. It is not yet cleansing, only the need for cleansing. When you touch the suitcase, you open yourself to energy that does not belong to you. Changing into clothes that are not yours is stepping into someone else's field, placing another person's story directly on your skin. The old black suitcase is the archetype of things left behind, carried, inherited from elsewhere. The white bikini symbolizes innocence, purity, but here also mismatch. An alien energy tries to fit into your form, but cannot. It is the first signature of an energy that must be severed. In the spiritual layer, an experience of passage appears. The SPA becomes a temple in which every element, the tiles, the bath, the suitcase, the mirror, becomes a ritual tool. The stairs downward are a descent into your inner self, the water, a promise of purification, the act of changing, a symbolic shedding of skin. Here, looking at your body becomes a rite. It is the moment where spirit and matter intertwine, and every reflection is like laying cards before yourself. Deeper still, the process of transformation emerges. Anger and distortion are the beginning of nigredo, the black alchemical matter that must surface for transformation to begin. The suitcase of foreign belongings is the prima materia, something raw, undefined. Carrying it and putting on the bikini enters the phase of dissolution of the old self-image. The water filling the bath awaits you as albedo, clarity, cleansing, washing through. Everything in this dream is one vast laboratory of your soul. The relaxation space becomes a place where the non-physical world reveals its structures. Being cut off from chargers is symbolic severing from outer sources of power. All devices fall silent, cables broken, and you stand in a place that forces a return to the inner core of energy. This is the moment in which spiritually you must stop drawing strength from what is outside you. It is the center of the test. Will you stay with yourself when everything else shuts down? Beneath the gleaming surface of the dream works the rhythm of ancient human structures. The SPA, the suitcase, the mirror, the friend, all are elements of an anthropological rite of passage. This is an initiation in which you are temporarily separated from the community, the chargers cut off, dressed in a new form, the bikini, and confronted with your own reflection. Here the body crosses a threshold, and your identity meets what society marks as appropriate. This is where a new part of you begins. From the depth of the earth rises folk memory. Old objects, foreign clothing, a mirror, water, all speak the language of thresholds and women's rights. The suitcase is like a grandmother's chest filled with secrets not yours yet speaking to you. Wearing someone else's clothes symbolizes stepping into another's story or taking on a lineage for a moment. The mirror's reflection that triggers anger is the echo of old commands and constraints, an invitation to finally rise and say, "I won't wear what isn't mine." In the body pulses the memory of tensions. The anger toward yourself, the sense of distortion, the lack of external energy all reflect a psychosomatic truth. The organism demands rest, softness, a return to nervous system regulation. The oversized bikini speaks of the inadequacy of roles your body no longer wants to carry. The suitcase in your hands is the weight of others' expectations. The broken chargers are the system's message. Enough, stop, breathe. The subtle world begins to move. Beige light, crystal water, the white fabric and black suitcase create a map of energy that demands reorganization. This dream shows a field overloaded with stories that are not yours, with foreign ideals of beauty, with other people's weight. When the cables break, the energy finally stops leaking outward. To sleep in such a dream is to enter a chamber where everything brings you back to the center. Above it all watches a cosmic order in which severing is not punishment but balance. The stars in this dream are invisible yet present. They shape the space of introspection, stillness, return to self. The inner rhythm guides you up and down the stairs like through your own planetary system. And the water gathers like a nebula ready to transform your self-image. The current of emotion and form leads you toward a new direction. When the water waits and the chargers vanish, you remain alone with your own rhythm. This moment is absolutely necessary. A pause meant not to wound you, but to guide you. All layers of the dream speak with one voice. You are not dependent on what is outside. Your self-image is not defined by what is not yours. Your energy is not held by devices. You are whole, even when put to trial. A number vibrates quietly beneath the surface, carrying the frequency of severing and transformation. The date of this dream, intertwined with the image of interrupted power, speaks of a cycle that closes so that another may open. It is a step toward maturity, where clarity is born from discomfort. A single removal of the bikini, a single look into the mirror, a single "this is wrong" is enough to set the corrective movement in motion. The number of this moment is like a held breath just before change. When all layers finish speaking, the image that remains is of you standing in a bright beige space, naked of expectations, immersed in the truth of yourself. The severing was not punishment, but a return to source. You are in the place where gentleness toward yourself begins and personal agency returns. Now allow the ritual to close this journey like a soft, quiet mist. Take the first deep breath and imagine yourself standing beside the stone bath filled with crystal water. Touch it with your hand and feel the cool light that washes away the weight of foreign forms. Remove the symbolic bikini and place it gently aside like a severed story that was never yours. Take the second breath and move your hands above the surface of the water, letting anger and the sense of distortion dissolve in it like ink. The water accepts everything you give it. Take the third, deepest breath and see yourself in a new mirror, clear, light, whole, unconfined. Stand tall and think, I am enough. I am my own. Let this thought flow down your spine like the warmth of candles during a night ritual. Close the image. Open the space of silence. Marlena, thank you for your dream. DreamScribe. I write in the language of dreams.